Good afternoon, Brimfield Township. Nick Koya, trustee here. I just wanted to take a moment this weekend to update all of our residents and those from the surrounding communities about the upcoming project Kids First. This is our attempt in the Brimfield Township to update our Parks and Rec area, specifically related to our playground equipment. We're looking at a 4-year phase out, and I wanted to present to you on Facebook, for those that could not attend the recent meeting, the PowerPoint presentation that we did for the public, so that you have an understanding of what we're working towards, the fundraising goals that we're going to be working on, and what our dream is for this township for our kids. So let's take a look at that PowerPoint now. Project Kids First. This is a project that is designed to focus on the youth of Brimfield Township and providing opportunities and places for them to gather and play. Additionally, the goal of this project is to help provide areas for families and community members to gather and socialize inside our township. The Kids First project mission is to provide an engaging activities, events, and locations for adolescents and the families of Brimfield Township by developing and improving public green space and implementing community-oriented events. So this is not just about playground equipment, but this is about developing our community-oriented events to gather areas for families of Brimfield Township. The two goals behind our playground equipment purchase is to implement 3 playground areas for the youth of Brimfield Township over 4 phases. Notice that this is phases, not years. A phase could be anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, depending on fundraising and the financial stability of the township. The second goal is to provide a safe and engaging location for community members to gather and socialize in the next 8 months. This is phase 1 of our playground equipment upgrades. I'm hoping that we can financially do this over the next 8 months through fundraising. My goal is not to run a levy, but rather to have some fundraising activities and to use some of those dollars that we allocated to our Parks and Rec area. This is our current playground equipment that we have for our residents. This is located on Lions Park over off of Edson Road. We have a couple swings and some climber units and also a slide that is not shown in the picture here. But there's some improvements that need to happen to this. First, some of the equipment wasn't properly installed, so we would need to make some renovations to that if we were going to continue to use that. However, while talking with our design group for the playground equipment, we identified that purchasing and implementation of new equipment in a new location may better serve the needs of our residents. These 2 parts here are salvageable from the current equipment we currently have. There's nothing wrong with these parts. They just need to be upgraded, repowder coated potentially, and then moved to the new location. In fact, these 2 pieces will most likely move to Cranberry Creek during phases 3 or 4 of the project. So phase 1 of our project looks like this. As you can see, the outlines through here, these borders, are actually a rubber border that would go around the playground equipment to hold the mulch chips in. This is a handicap accessible ramp that will allow a wheelchair to access the playground area. The mulch that's used is a special mulch that's designed to provide some additional protection for the children, but also stiff enough that we can roll a wheelchair over that. This section down here, as you can see, will be 2 base swing set to initially start, and then we'll have a piece of playground equipment. The piece that you see here is only for viewing purposes now. We're waiting on the spring catalog to come out so that we can get a discounted price on a piece of equipment. So this isn't the exact piece that you would see in place. However, it'll have many of the similar features, 1 or 2 slides, a handicap transition spot for those children that are mobile but need some assistance getting onto the playground equipment, and some climber areas. Under phase 2, we would remove that existing border on the front, move it out, and expand our playground equipment. This allows us to reuse some of the border through here and to reuse our ramp structure. Additionally, we will be able to build onto our swing set, adding 2 more bays of swings. One of those, if not both, will be handicap accessible swings. And then the playground equipment, the nice part with our project is it allows us to build off of what exists. So the blue area through here would be an extension off of the existing playground equipment, allowing us to build out in phases. Phase 3 allows us to start to add some of the dramatic play pieces. As you can see here, this would actually be a fire truck made out of tubular steel and panels that kids could climb in and out of and play on, and it'd be designed right around what our fire truck looks like for our township. This piece here would be actually a police cruiser, and then we have some musical instruments that would be installed in the playground too to allow with that dramatic play. If you take a look at these pictures, the picture over here, the color picture, this is what the build out would look like, very similar to what was proposed on those three-phase piece. But what we're looking to do is purchase pieces that will better meet our community needs. So while that's a nice piece, we could purchase something similar to this one on the left-hand side of the screen for a much cheaper cost out of the Spring Savings Catalog. Additionally, the color schemes can be designed to meet the colors of our township, so it all becomes all-encompassing. These are some of those dramatic pieces that I talked about during Phase 3. You can see there are some musical instruments that we could include, and then there's a picture of one of the fire trucks from a different community. So looking at costs to make this happen, if we were to work with what a neighboring community had put in place in their build out, we could do Phase 1 as a cost of $25,000. That's $13,000 for the play equipment, $1,200 for the swing, $5,000 for surfacing, and then $2,700 for installation help. What's nice is we actually save a lot of money on this install because the installation piece is actually a community build. This means that the manufacturer of the playground equipment will send out 2 technicians on a weekend to help us lead us in the installation of this, but the community themselves are the ones who install that. Phase 2 brings us in at a price tag of approximately $19,000, almost $20,000, and then Phase 3 brings us in our final phase of around $15,000 to put this over at the Edson Park. To give you an idea of where we're thinking about putting this, this is our Lions Park on Edson Road. This is where we currently have our playground equipment, but it's way in the back. The idea is to move this to the front, install some fencing along this area here, and then place the playground equipment in this section here. This will allow for greater visibility from the roadway as people drive by so they know it exists, and it's very close to our Carter Pavilion and a short walking distance down a predetermined path to our community center. So those that are utilizing the community center would have a place that they could take the children to go play also. As you can see here, this is the community, this is the Carter Lumber Pavilion. Right through here would be that fencing, and then this would be the playground equipment. And the idea is additionally in the future to add through this section here parking spots for closer parking for those that are just coming to use the playground equipment for the day. The walking path leads from the Carter Pavilion down this path back into this section over here to our community center. And the goal is to work with one of our Eagle Scouts as a project potentially to install markers along the walkway here periodically, about 4 down each one, all the way down, that highlights the history of Brimfield. On the left-hand side, we would have a more historical outlook from an adult perspective, and then on the left-hand side or right-hand side, we would install the very similar markers, but more of a children's outlook to give some educational pieces and stories for them to read along the way. In order to help do this, we are hosting a Touch a Truck event. The goal is to start fundraising to keep costs down for this project. The tentative date is no longer May or June. We have identified this tentative date to be in June on Father's Day weekend. That Saturday, we'll be hosting the event at the Edson Park, and we'll be highlighting the pieces of equipment that we've chosen as part of this. So that'll be kind of the unveiling of what we're going to be working on. This will be June 16th. Projected kickoff time is going to be at 11 a.m., and we'll run this for a couple hours. The fundraising piece for this is that we're asking food vendors, food trucks, to come out and serve food during the event. The individuals that visit can purchase food from those trucks, and then they'll be asked to round up. So if your meal was $8.50, we're asking you to round it up to 10. The additional dollars will become a donation to us. The second piece of this, and I will be releasing this in the next month or so, is we're going to do some crowdsourcing. We're going to reach out online and hopefully identify some individuals that will be willing to donate dollars towards this project. And there'll be more information coming on that as we get closer. So that was just a quick highlight of what we're looking to do with the projects. Phase 3 would have an additional piece of installation of equipment over at Cranberry Creek, including those pieces that we talked about in the background, and a 2-bay swing set. Phase 4, we're talking about adding maybe additional pieces over at Cranberry Creek and maybe one playground structure outside of our current fire/administration building, because we know a lot of people utilize that area at lunchtime for the gazebo, to eat lunch, and a gathering point. So those are potentials for Phase 3 and 4. Thanks for taking time to listen to the video and check this out. If you have any questions anytime, let me know. Additionally, we'll be having some meetings going forward, and we look forward to seeing each and every one of you at the Touch a Truck event as we start to gather funds and move forward with this Kids First project. Have a great weekend. Thanks.